It's you want to sort of establish yourself because, yeah, they won't be jumping into any other siege. We don't have LCQs. We don't have whatever. It is just a sort of building time, and we know rosters from this region and players from this region and sort of cores from this region stay together for a super long amount of time, and then they sort of see what can happen. But 2 shields instantly gone at the start of this. Not the biggest surprise, really, but again, you know, Furia sort of angling themselves up. I'm sure their rulebook will be checked by others, but they could also technically do it on round difference if Furia do well here. I mean, if they 7-0, they got plus 17. That's only a 3-round difference between them and W7M. I don't think they'll 7-0, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know in the magical game of Siege.
Just another little thing as well, just touched on the map. Not a map that we've really seen this stage. You know, I think it's the least played map inside of EU. I think we've maybe seen it once, if that even. I think we've seen it during, I think it was at G2 versus BDS. I think we've seen a Skyscraper, and I think that's the only one that I can really remember. So certainly Skyscraper, it's a map that we don't really see in the best of ones. We usually see this for best of threes, certainly into the best of fives, of course. So yeah, I think it's always nice to see a little bit of variety rather than, I don't know, Clubber Bank is what typically seems to be the maps these days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Skyscraper had a moment in EUL. I don't really know, or EML now. I don't know how often it was used in sort of NAL. It's loved in sections of APAC. I know that much. It was like a very consistent map for that sort of playstyle, but here, not a huge amount. The Clash going external, causing problems on the walkways is a common play. It was sort of, even obviously long before the changes towards Clash, you can just get a bit active, be a bit problematic, and now it might even give her a little bit more, but you've got the Sophia to deal with this Clash, you have the Flores as well, you have all this stuff to remove that utility. So as soon as, yeah, she gets too comfortable, I mean, that's one way of doing it, but the pressure's going to come. They got to leave. They sort of missed that one up.
I don't know how Hertz hasn't killed him. That should have been the freest kill ever. I mean, Angels, what a, like, come on, mate. You can't be going for that whenever, you know, the Clash is just patrolling. I mean, he's so lucky.
It was bold. I think that only really happened because they just started immediately, but here we go. 5 apiece. Still, everybody's still ready for the brawl. It's sort of encircling at this point. You can see Furia has an extension, obviously, this deep, and they're refusing to give it up. And all of ENX have, as I said, encircled themselves around. You've got a couple out on walkways, some pressure on towards the top VIP. There's the swing in. They're about to find Felipox. Oh, and Felipox is about to find a fight either side of him. So Herds actually needs to be the offer and support, but it's KZ that gets caught out first. By Nigel now. It's the 5 versus 4, and they've still got 2 of them trapped, but Herds is going to keep fighting his way out. Surely he doesn't get the second. He's missed the rotate, but Felipox from the swing on the minibar is able to get one more as JV secures on the back line, and even though they sort of said, no, this is where we're holding, we're not leaving, there's 2 players here. Okay, 2 back to box. You can see Florio maybe going to draw some attention here towards the top black, but what a weirdly paced engagement.
Yeah, I mean, a very slow approach from ENX, and now all of a sudden it's went from first into 5th gear, and somehow they haven't burned the clutch out. They're still going strong right now, but it is down to a 1v1, but no, Florio is able to come up behind. He actually jumped into a frost mat, and the Clash was going to get an easy kill, but yeah, just Florio just rushes through the corridor, picks him up. What's going on? What a weird round.
I really don't know. All right, we start how we might mean to continue. Okay, so all right, it's the first round. It's the first round, the first sort of setup there. ENX, they've got off to a great start.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
At
bombs.
one point, you know, they had a bit of luck. The Thermite not dying on the progression outside. Great. They couldn't quite net the kill. They tried to surround elsewhere. They were able to get 1 before they were suddenly in a 2 versus 4. But then Furia just started playing a bit silly. Loose swinging, trying to just get the kills, trying to get the end of the round. And they didn't really pay the respect towards the end of it. And yeah, okay, you're Furia. You often don't have to. But any team is capable. Any player is capable of getting themselves into that situation, and yeah,
10 seconds
what a
remaining.
strange start. Will it continue?
5 seconds remaining.
I think for my mental health, I hope
Attackers
not,
are heading out to defuse a bomb.
because I don't want to be a broken man. I would just like to enjoy the day.
Dare you to come closer.
Game one.
Dare you.
Game one, round one.
I look at this offer.
Okay.
Just look at this from Clash. This
Yeah.
is crazy. The info that you can get from this for spawns is wow. And I mean,
So-
KZ, I'm pretty sure spawn peeked that bathroom window there, maybe.
Yeah, it was
I
either
think he did.
bathroom. Yeah, it had to be bathroom to
Or
get it that
bottom
quick.
black,
Yeah, someone just running outside on towards the landing pads. All right, well, that's an early start, and they've pulled themselves back. But, well, how long will they sort of stick around? Obviously, you've removed the Dockerby. You've removed a big nuisance sort of probe. It's often a quick ban. They're just sort of hoping and anticipating to get the fight on the other side of it. But the Maverick had done the work that he needed to do, and they pulled themselves out. It's still actually... It's a very partial breach there. He's just slowing it down. He's not been able to get rid of it. It's more time wasted. At this point, Herds, they're holding onto the back end. They're going to see if they can try and get the breach open. This is where the Clash should kind of be making a little bit of a show of force, really, but there's nothing there. There is. Nade instantly dropped behind the Maverick as soon as they sort of had the wall open. There was somebody with a gun ready. Well-timed ace charges will get this wall open, but a minute 30, and at this point, Fury is sort of, you know, what are they waiting for? What are they anticipating? They've entirely pulled off the site, apart from Herds.
I mean, I still think this is good for Furia, though. I mean, Furia have obviously leaned into the wall denial, your Bandit and Cade, and the Tub, and then in return, ENX thought, right, we need to bring in the Maverick, we need to bring in a Thatcher, obviously the hard breachers need to come in, but how do they deal with the Clash now? This plays into the win con for Furia. Thatcher had used all of ZMPs. That is a good way of countering the Clash, because again, it disables that taser effect of the shield, but with no Thatchers left, how on earth are they going to get through that? All they've got is 2 nades, and we know that nades aren't the greatest against Clash because you just move out the way. So, yeah, I think this Clash is going to be the downfall here for ENX.
Well, with only 40 seconds left and still some Goya canisters to watch and burn out, Leapbox has found himself a small pocket of space, but I believe there's an opening just on the wall above him. So, yeah, it's the Maverick line waiting and watching for the rotate. He's stuck for 30 seconds. He's wasting time and more utility. The flashes just to clear him out from drum. He's able to get some of the damage dealt, but not enough. 25 seconds now, and then he's trying to clear out top statue and clear out the opposite side, get Dragon under their control, which KZ is trying to contest and does, gets the drop. Now they can swing their way back in. It's JV92 locking it down for Minibar. Could just pop that Goyo if he wants to hold on to, but he's more than happy with the fight. Gets dropped from behind. KZ with the last onto Sexy Cake.
Yeah, see, again, he had the Goyo for the win con, but he thought, I'm going to play for the kill. that's something very on brand for Fury, is that we know that the players and just killing machines, aren't they? It's, you kind of think about teams, you think, oh, look, they have a Terminator. No, these guys, they've got 5 Terminators, so it does cause some issues. All different brands, of course. What's the most advanced one these days? Whatever it is, KZ's that most advanced one.
Yeah, I mean, they love a scrap. Sometimes to their detriment, most of the time to their benefit, because they're really pretty bloody good at it. Obviously, as you said, it sort of came down to the time. They weren't quite in the control that they wanted to. The Maverick was good to get them these couple of openings. They've sort of brought it back.
Just too slow.
Yeah, I think that's... But you could also see how they utilized the Maverick as well, right? It was the whole team went to get house wall and top of the house stairs wall. The whole team went towards the double breach wall, and then the whole team, apart from one person, went over towards the black stairs. Like, it's just
10 seconds left.
not quite wide enough an approach on a map that requires more.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
I dare you to come closer. I dare you.
Here we go again. And for ENX, Maverick, Thatcher comes into play. You've got Heartbeat's gadgets from the Sophia. They have brought in the Nomad, which, again, is going to help a lot for this Clash. I mean, it should. In theory, you just slam the air jab. It denies the Clashers from walking out on that balcony and causing issues. I would say for ENX, it'll probably be a similar thing of what they did the first time round, where they want to try and take in control of Office, then kind of push their way across in Free Dragon, but it's the timing for me. They really need to start speeding things up, and here we go again. Look, Urds is out on the Clash. No air jab to deny him. Again, it's not being brought in for that reason, it looks like. Which is surprising, very, very surprising, just to allow her to gather so much information. You know, he's able to call out, there's 3 of them on this balcony. All of his team now can rotate in and look for this fight.
Yeah, I think it's sort of surprising, right, how they haven't angled towards it. They know it's been a constant. They know it's been a constant problem. And they also know that it had always been sort of the forefront of the holes. The Sophia is good, unless they can just do this. That's a stun, and all they had to do was slightly dip around the corner and they're fine. There's still all this support around them. There's somebody on the crouch walk far off in the distance, maybe hoping to push up Brown and try and cut the hold in half. But at this point, you know, without anything to force them off, they're just gonna keep stipping and almost lost the Thatcher. There he goes down. He's sort of found. There's a trade out from Botka Nade. There's that rotate up Brown I called, but Nigel was well predicted. Now it's a 4 versus 2, and they're still focused on a clash.
It's just very flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not getting a tune out of it whatsoever, the way that they're trying to play. I mean, again, the Clash was able to give so much information. Furia were then playing off that info and really aggressive, swinging because they knew how many players were towards that side of the map. So Nigel attempted just a solo push by himself using Dokumi Call. That was it. It's just by himself, nobody with him. And ENX, 40 seconds to go. Barely any map pressure. You've got the Nomad outside of Black Balcony, still with 2 air jabs, by the way, and there's still a Clash walking around.
Well, now they have none. Because they are dead. And Sexy Cake has nothing to try and run apart from a pocket hard breach, but unfortunately that's not going to help them swing into what is just a Clash watched death brawl at this point. Sort of waiting for the inevitable. Ooh, and Furia do hand 1. This is when sometimes Furia get a little bit silly. Oh, they get clashes. Surely not. 5 seconds. That got close.
Oh, silly season. Silly season's here. He connected 1 or 2 shots over the pistol. If it was a headshot, oh boy. But still Nate clutching up for his team. Still won that round, which should have a lot cleaner, but still, it is what it is for Furia. But for ENX, it is just the time for me. They are doing things so back to front almost. You know, like we've got players trying to push into the site while the other half of their team is still trying to get in towards Office. It feels very kind of lone wolf style, where everyone's just trying to do their own thing. And if you're going to try and play against like Furia, you're going to need to try and beat them in the gun department. I'll tell you this for free. I'm not even going to charge you for this information.
Whoa. It's a demo deal.
They don't.
Oh.
They don't. They do not have the same killing potential as what Furia do.
I can't. I'm
Crazy.
surprised.
Or should I
I'm
say
shocked,
crazy?
I tell you. You're telling me the roster with 2 of the current record holders for kills in a series is better than
You're telling
other
me the
rosters?
Grand Slam champs can't shoot straight?
What?
You serious?
10
Crazy.
seconds remaining.
I mean, 2-1. Yes, obviously the Clash is gone. That's one way of dealing with her. Should have done it better. Could have done it worse. We are where we are. It's 2-1 up. It's a problem that is sort of exacerbating, as you pointed out. The main problem, they're just taking too slow. They do not have the pace that they need to lock in towards this. The Maverick is the sort of removal there, and yeah, it caused a couple of problems on one of the sites. Otherwise, I think it was a boon in some places of just, again, the laser focus on ENX of this is our attack plan. Maverick is not a quick man, and well,
he's a free speed.
no, well, okay, he's quick. Utilizing him to take control of all of the different aspects of the map the way they were on a map like Skyscraper, he's not quick. They have Deimos the Ying. Calls of Dockerby might give me a little bit of a hope that they do something a bit punchier, a bit quicker this time, Demo.
Yeah. Yeah, much better lineup. I think Dokkaebi and Deimos, we know the information you can gain. I mean, that's risky from Merge. Whenever that floor gets open below you, you can't really go for that, and he's risked it, and yeah, hasn't paid off for him. So down goes the Bandit. Wall will be opened up, and you know the info now starts coming in. Dokkaebi called, give them some map control. Deimos, of course, will start looking for players who are going to be in some tricky positions that you may want to maybe look for some floor bangs against. It's one thing you always look at Deimos. It's that pistol can shred through floors really, really well. But at the moment, it looks as though he's more turning his attention towards the site rather than trying to go above and try and help this team. At the moment, we're actually hoping pretty well with the players currently on that roam game towards office. As Buck has been able to get one. And still, he's got all 4 Candelas in his pocket, so the Ying is going to be great for that last-minute execute if they need it. Even if they want to go for a Geisha as well, there's still a player up there who, of course, has that hatch to buy anyone wanting to walk in towards kitchen. So a minute left. Furia, gonna need to try and get a little bit jiggy and go for some picks. And well, Philippox will start that. 1 pick on the Nigel.
Yeah, used almost every single bullet to get it done, and I mean, Nigel is... Well, okay, Deimos as an operator, it only really takes 1 shots from either of them to get it logged in, but it's the risk of pushing with the UMP. Philippox now is going to rotate around the back and get a second. There's a fight here on towards Drum Door. It slow peaks. There's the reveal in 2! It's a team kill! Sexy Cake gets Angels, Nade gets Sexy Cake, and ENX had the best possible start and the worst possible middle. Can Bok try and get a fairy tale ending here? I know exactly where he is. Gifted a fight. One off to his right. He's about to be swung on. He does recollect the kit, get himself rotated around. 10 seconds though. 1 on the prep line, 1 above. And no, Furia won't hand him all the engagements.
Oh, ENX. I mentioned that I kind of looked at the team and I thought they're playing very individual. And I think that's a perfect example of the round. You get 2 picks, they're starting at 5 versus 3, and then people just start going off and doing their own thing. The Deimos should always be seeing if he can just rotate towards his team. Find out, okay, what room do you want next? Okay, we probably want Geisha. Find out who's in Geisha, track him, kill him. He sat there trying to just get creative and just trying to walk into sight. He gets caught out because of that. No flank cam as well. How is he allowed back up that lobby stairs? How's Philippox gone to that position? Just mistake after mistake for ENX again. And Furia, we've mentioned before, you give them an inch. They won't even take, they'll take 2 miles off, you're not even just the 1.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, Furia get themselves that little bit extra. And, you know, you sort of harp round to how that first round played out as well. It could be a 4-0 at this point. It was a fight back from ENX, but at the same time, the mistakes are being punished, and they're much more obvious. They're much more blatant on your attack. Sexy Cake on the role of the Monty. Is it a panic one? I always leave that to you. The master of what is a panic Monty and what isn't.
It's not on my script right now, hold on. Did you give me the wrong script?
I did,
Line,
I'm sorry.
quick, line, quick.
Sexy Cake is a historic Monty player, but the team could utilize this well.
Sexy Cake is a historic Monty player, and the team could utilize this well.
It's true. Sexy Cake is a great Monty player from history, as long as the team gets behind them. As you said, the way they're playing separately right now, it's sort of causing problems, right? And yeah, the accidental problem was they shot someone in the back of the head when they did try and group up, but at this point, Furia, because they're being so aggressive, because they keep trying to step up into these engagements, if they're baited into the fight of a Monty and you're smart with the ENX, you can punish this. You have the Capitao and the Monty and someone else just coming in towards top black as well. Not entirely sure who that is, but here, in the Goyo, the surround, this is kind of what we wanted to see from them. It's quicker, they're putting pressure on towards Furia, and they're trying to operate together.
Yeah, better pacing. Whenever you know you're against the Goyo, you need to. You know, you need to hit the ground running right from the get-go, start going through the util. Don't allow Furia just to have the win con based on the explosive canisters. So, yeah, good. Much better from ENX. And obviously for Furia, we're going to have to fall back at some point. Well, maybe not, because Felipox, look at where he's positioned himself. Jumped up, beside that reinforced wall. He is going to die here. It's just a case of how many players is he going to take with him.
Yeah, that's it. Like, they'll know he's in this position. The first thing he sees is the Monty. Oh, and he wants to swing right onto them, but there it is. And it's just been an ENX close down here. They're entirely surrounded. And for everything that we talked about there, and for the... Sorry, let me read the script. Everything we mentioned about how Sexy Cake can play that Monty came true. The team worked together. The team had a push together. They got internal. Then they did it quite quickly. 3-2.
Yeah. See how easy it is whenever they just assess together, what they want to push. Okay, we're gonna see if we can pitch this guy into the drum, kill the guy inside the dragon. Let's go for it. That's all they've been missing. It's just a little bit of teamwork and pushing together with a coordinated attack. And there we go. How easy it is, the Monty, yeah. Very powerful operator just for that information that you can gather. And they're gonna go for it again. They know that that recipe works. They're gonna go for it again. Now for Furia, how are they going to counter that Monty? Now, you look at the lineup, they've got a few things. I mean, they've got a C4. Obviously, that they can maybe try and set up a C4 from below, maybe. If they can maybe try and pinch that Monty if he comes in through the office side, for example. You've got the smoke, you've got the Legion. There's still ways around that Monty, of course. But I think the main thing about the Monty is you need to try and play with a team. This is just a little tip for anyone. If a Monty's coming at you, don't panic. Just call for a teammate over and just try and take that 2v1 if you can. Make things a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. You can get yourself a support structure around it. You can try and be a little bit more active in how you want to put the pressure back on. They've pulled themselves back over here, but getting the rotates round. And where is Sexy Cake going to try and drive in? Obviously, you've seen very common that Monties have just gone, I'm not going to say entirely rushed in towards top black, but draw the attention there. It might pull those loose Furia players back. You know they are heavily extending over towards the trophy side, over towards the opposite end of the top floor. So why not swing on to Samurai Window? Well, it seems like they still want to do that. And the Monty is currently alone, but they are at least trying to draw some of this focus elsewhere. There's the electrics gone and pressure on towards Geisha. No, the grenade doesn't quite catch the claw, so now they've got to come up with a plan B.
Yeah, and also Felipox is sitting ready with the pub canisters, so that would have wasted a good amount of time also. Obviously, the Monty has a diffuser, so the push is going to have to come in via him. And at the moment, he is located over towards the balcony, towards office. And Furia, again, still going for this early roam game, looking to see if they can contest and fight. Very traditional way that Furia like to play the game. And like I said about Legion, you know, the goo mines will come in handy. For example, Sexy Cake just cannot jump into that breach. You will get the goo mine in the foot, and it'll start chunking his health, you know, and make things really difficult for him.
Oh, all the things that we said were going to go so well previously with the Monty have unfortunately not come together this round. A minute 20. And all they've done is open a couple of angles and sort of sit and wait now. And you cannot just sit and wait. They've slunk themselves closer towards, well, nobody, really. There's still the Monty just jiggling this. There's still somebody outside the run-out. There's still just some pressure that might come around from a Deimos potentially underneath. Herds is being surrounded. The Deimos is directly underneath, and Angels is the one that cements the kill, but the second player, who's KZ, is hoping to find a way out. But again, you know, it's one player left. He's able to escape. There's 50 seconds still on the sort of watch. KZ does get downed from the long watch, and Nigel finds Felipox. Okay, maybe suddenly Furia held on a little bit too long, allowed ENX a little bit too much space to set up. 30 seconds, though, and there's still the pressure of the plant itself. It's a 5 versus 2, but Geisha side still locked. At this point, Nade still has 2 smoke canisters. Ready and waiting on a bit of a long angle, but all big risk, no reward. And that leaves JV92 with everything to do. There's the first. But as the Monty's in, there's the second. The Monty's about to be toe-to-toe with him. And a fight over the top of gold, but ENX find the end of it. Close, though.
Very close. I mean, the Monty, again, working really well for them, I think, just based on the information. Monty was able to call out, you know, there's 2 towards office. They set up the guys in the windows. I think I agree with you with what you said, where overextend it for way too long. You know, I think once that timer kind of hit the minute mark, they should have ran away. You know, some of them just wanted to stay and fight and play for the kills, which they should have just took what they got, and that was 2 minutes off the clock gone. A lot of util. And at that stage, once you fall back, what do ENX have? They just have half the map. They still need the other half, and they still have to go for that process of going through that. You have the smoke as well. Fall back and use the smoke as your wing con. And don't forget, with Geisha Wall not being opened up, the only way the ENX could attack was via 2 doorways. And that's tricky. Very, very tricky to do.
3-3, and who would have thought ENX would be level pegging with Furia halfway through this skyscraper? Maybe they knew something we didn't, but it's a game of 2 halves, and Furia now get the opportunity to prove that they can be a bit sharper on this in terms of delivering their attack and delivering the sort of pressure against the team ahead of them. We've seen them have pretty balanced, to be fair, across the sort of recent set of maps. 54% attack win for them. So, you know, they're more than happy to set the pace. Skyscraper is a bit of an awkward map. We don't have direct on that. In the meantime, ENX, they were only on a 37% attack win before they came into this. Up to 45 on their defense. They're better on their defense. They're on a decent defensive side of map. Has Furia's sort of gamble of letting this go through actually been something that ENX punished all of us with?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left before insertion.
Look at the scores in the doors.
Attackers are moving.
I mean, Furia...
Scores on the doors.
Nobody really is excelling to the highest limits. You know, max kills currently is JV, and that's only 6, so he's got 1 kill per round, so certainly the kills aren't as big of numbers as what maybe we're used to with this side, of course. Look at ENX. Really, you've got one guy. You've got a bot left and 4. Doing a lot of the heavy lifting for his side, so it's still up in the air to see how this game will go. Still time, of course, for some of these players from Furia to turn it around and again try and hit those double digits, which is where we're oh so used to seeing them. Information from Furia, just based on their drone work, it looks as though that it's going to be probably a Black Stairs take along with Geisha, and then also filtering in a buck below to see if he can remove some important positions, i.e. any players inside of Geisha, for example. However, there's that man again, Boxera. Opening pick for him. Puts him on 12 kills now.
I mean, the one to watch was sort of highlighted there by Lynx at the start of this. Who knew that they could do desk work too? They're so talented. Boxera, 12-4. Absolute tear throughout this map so far. And yeah, the other players haven't quite been able to step in, but now that gives Boxera more to work with. They can be a bit loose. They can be a bit aggressive. And if they go down, well, they've already sort of got their trade. They've already got themselves in that position. The hop-in comes immediately. And if we want to pace, well, there's... Oh, a missed moment, but it's picked up by somebody else. The crossfire there on towards Drum does catch it. It was the buck underneath that got the end of that kill from KZ. A great pinch on towards that player. They now have Geisha control. So, ENX, the warning signs will start to sort of pop off, and they're just going to try and eke their way in here. They're sort of expecting a fight on towards the buck, but it's the ace that gets punished by Boxera. Next, there's a close fight here, right on the shield, and another missed moment as the buck is just forcing these players out, but it's actually not quick enough. Florio has gone down. They haven't been able to confirm the kill as of yet, but they've got boots inside the site, and JV92 can go for a plant. They have the cover, they have the verticality, and they have the cross. So the cross has to be done inside Geisha, but here, it's still being watched from underneath. Where is the buck going? To the wrong place, because Boxera gets one more. JV92 does find Nigel and Sexy Cake, leaving Boxera alone in an ace round winning clutch situation here. Now they have a bit of a separation, gonna try and make their way over towards the teammate, maybe find a fight on the way. There's a spray through. They have a bit of a premonition on where the player is. Getting the player up, and their teammate is gonna make a lot of noise. There's the plant. JV92 is confirming this. There's not been a motion here from Boxera as of yet. But, oh, there's the end of Florio. Boxera almost gets him, drops JV92. And it is just Boxera versus KZ. Now, KZ can watch this from underneath. That is the big problem. Oh, he can just hold it. KZ's too far away. Oh, he's in Narnia demo. Boxera, now he comes off against the ace anyway. Shouted out on the desk by Lynx, but screamed out his own bloody name, demo.
How has he pulled that one off? I mean, he probably could have stuck it, but he thought, I'll give them an even better clip. I'll give them the full ace. Oh my. I mean, a horror story for Furia, though. The setup from Furia is looking really good. You know, you can see the game plan. It's have the puck downstairs, do a lot of the vertical work, take Geisha, have the guy on black balcony, try and get in towards karaoke and go for the plant. I think the pivotal kill, which, I mean, a lot of them seems though they're pivotal kill, but I think the main one was they were able to pick off the player who was towards black balcony. That was the all-important pick. You lose that player who's going to lock down that corridor. It puts them in a really tricky position. They planted for a window, and again, it was a moment. It was a split-second moment that KZ needed to make. It was, do I play from below and use the verticality, but then obviously you risk that you could just get shot from your own holes, or do I chance it and go for the long rotate, knowing that window will win? But you can see the timing. He took too long getting to that window. The diffuser was jumped on immediately. You know, so it's a really tough one though for the Buck. Really, really tough call. But hey, he made his decision, and he has to back it, and sadly it didn't work.
ENX 4-3 up with an ace clutch out here, and Furia, well, not entirely beaten or bested yet. Obviously, it's been back and forth, but it's now been, what, 3 rounds? Since they were last able to clutch one, they were 3-1 up at one point, and ENX just turned on the gas.
As designed.
Now with a little bit more of a sort of timid position, a bit more of a thin sight. Boxera's alone, but at this point you kind of want to deal with him last. Get rid of the rest of the team and see where else you can try and get some bodies down. Now as an approach round on the opposite end, Furia gonna sort of group up here towards the... You can see some approach from the Gage side, but generally top black. Hot drone ahead of the player. Try and break your way past the castle barricades and see if you can get eyesight on towards... Oh, the Drum Kaid, who actually just drifted out of the fight for a second. Giving themselves the rotate so they don't have to go flat against the door to instantly meet another castle barricade.
Going steady for Furia. Again, Skyscraper, it is a matter of layers. Have to go through one defense into another. Again, you can see it's kind of filtered with the layout of the map. You split it almost in 3 sections. You have Karaoke and T, then you move into Drum and Dragon, and finally over towards Office. So, kind of got 1.5 so far done. They're now starting to knock on the door and trying to secure Dragon, but ENX are not going to give it up that easily. This Buck is below downstairs. Dugby call comes in, and he should hear the phone call. The player downstairs in bathroom is just about got out of there, and somehow Sexy Cake, light in his feet, picks off Philippox coming in the other way.
Nade finds Florios. They don't have man advantage for very long, so they're losing pressure underneath because Sexy Cake gets 2. That's the Buck gone. That's that verticality gone. Taking a Buck and a Dockerby in a 1 versus 2 situation there, Sexy Cake, and now they're just gonna have to try and force their way across. There's JB92 winning out against Angels, but taking a lot of damage. Sexy Cake has gone down in that exchange coming up the stairs. It's a very narrow margin here, and they're both out of bullets, but they're stayed with the secondary. Boxera in another 1 versus X situation gets himself a second. But look at the time, Demo. Herds on the Ash has to push for the fight. It's pre-fired. Swung round on Samurai side. Boxera can't just quite make it alive, and he gets out of there. How has it happened?
He is untouchable. You cannot beat this guy. You can't. Again, back to back hero for his team.
That would have been 3 for the round for him there as well.
I'll honestly just say he did. What, just pretend we did. You know, he got another 1v3.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive around the bullets coming in from an Ash of Herds. Herds 1 to 5 as well. Struggling to get into this one. What's
Future
there at?
dodgeball champion right there.
18-4. Could be 19.
8 rounds, by the way. At 2.25 KD?
Horrifying.
Oh, 2.5 KD, sorry. The math was off.
New camera feed up
It's a
and running.
2.25
No.
KPR.
Was that right? Yeah, that's it.
2.25
something.
KPR.
Yeah. Crazy.
The KD is theoretically better. It's
5 seconds.
divide 18 by 4.
Wall secured.
Which is 4.5.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Unreal.
Crazy.
Either way, you gotta be frustrated if you're Furia at this point. You know, using the Dockerby scan early there, maybe to try and the line scan even to try and prevent anybody just going for a potential peek out or get some track on the motion. It's again quick pace above. They've got to win this side, right? You're on the tertiary, you're putting pressure in. You know you've got to go back now to 2 sides that you've lost, and that alone would end the map. And it's not that they have not been yours, it's been 2 huge clutches from Boxera in a row. Said we wanted to see a little bit more of him, and we do immediately. Yep. Angel's gone.
He needs to step up, doesn't he, Herds? It's always a player we look towards, and hey, maybe Boxera is his kryptonite. Maybe Boxera is to him what Alamau is to Herds. Maybe it is. I think that might be the case.
Boxera, he finished off his kill from the last round. He gets himself again another one for his team, and he's just feeling it. And that is a powerful, powerful thing. So they've lost now the IQ, which means those Valk cams much more prominent, much more powerful if they haven't otherwise been found already. Felipox goes for the hop in and the handover, but not currently anybody that is in a position to contest. You can see that they're just having to check for these now. The C4 potential from underneath from Boxera is deadly, but as JV gets one, there's Florio getting JV back. It's trade for trade, and Felipox then gets Florio. It is a network, a daisy chain of kills. They have some eyes around the site this time. It does look like there's a bit of a disconnect between the 2 remaining defenders. They're not a million miles away, but it's a lot of hard walls, a lot of corners between the pair of them. If that's something that Furia can operate on with a minute left, they have a lot of time. There's the Valk causing problems on the player above, just scaring them, seeing if they can try and put some of the fear. 50 seconds, and Furia, they do not want to scuff this landing.
It's more the fact that he's still alive. That's what you're worried about right now if you're Furia. He's still up waiting for them. Like a shark in the water waiting for his chance to strike. Boxera does lose the C4 as he attempted it up in towards Geisha. 30 seconds left, and Furia, it's just about using that extra man. Playing with that man advantage. Just trade off the kills and they'll win the round. That's all they have to do is trade.
Well, they're in. Oh, one's down. There's a swing round on the back. Boxera gets another for the tally. Make it to lockdown. A 2 versus 1 demo. They didn't know about the player in prep. And Boxera's still going. Unstoppable right now.
Just if oh my. Just
What
no
do you
words.
do? What do you do?
I mean, I'm out of ideas. I mean, it's just a case of one guy killing everything. He can do no wrong, and Furia can do no right. And this
There's
happens.
the timeout.
Just one guy on top of the world, and you cannot drag him down. 21-4.
That's unbelievable.
He has 4 more kills than his entire team combined.
That is 21-4 is unbelievable. I couldn't tell you if I've ever, in like 8 years of casting this game, I couldn't tell you if I've seen an active 21-4. You can have big
If
kill
we go
games.
OT, he could be breaking records.
He could be. He's what, 6 short?
27 is best one record yet.
Unbelievable. 6-3. Timeout used. Furia have just suffered the wrong side of a perfect site rotation. So now they've got to go through 3 sites they've lost. 2 of them they shouldn't have, because they were big moments there. Okay, I guess you could say the trophy side maybe a little bit close. It was a 2 versus 1, but they didn't have a lot of time and it came down to time. Fine. But still, you are Furia. And it's not that ENX aren't a lot of great names, but it's historic names and a lot of new names, and they've struggled this split. There is no 2 ways to deny that. However, the game is the game, brother. This is where we're at right now, and it is 6-3 ENX Furia, who were in 3rd, and we had conversations and musings of whether they could get in the top 2. Definitely no longer can, because even if they got to OT, it would be scrappy points. However, now they might fall down that table. They might fall as far as 6th.
Boxera kind of came in this thinking, look, I'm not walking away with a playoff spot, but I'm going to be walking away with someone's or multiple people's heads. I think he's achieved that, hasn't he? He's thought, I'm just going to see if I can Grim Reaper the living daylights out of Furia.
I mean, yeah, it's just been... I'm not sure if you can go... I don't obviously know the history of everybody's performances this split across the world, but it is probably maybe the best one. Definitely within the top 5 of a single player's performance at this current moment.
Should we just watch Bot? Do we need to watch anything else? Surely we can.
No, because part of the magic. Sexy Cake gets Philippox. There's a part of me that wants Box to break the record, and that means the game has to continue and Fury have to win a round.
I want to see a 30 bomb. I thought we'd never ever see a 30 bomb, but I really want them to throw it just for that opportunity.
It's so possible. It's so possible. Against Furia.
Sexy Cake, he's trying to ruin it. He's trying to make sure his team doesn't get the record. He just wants to finish it.
Yeah. Okay. They have the first, a 5 versus 4. Now we've seen these positions go away from them. Sexy Cake over the office table, trying to find a bit of a spray fight. It's a great gun for this kind of quick, snappy engagements. KZ, what are you doing?
Crazy.
It was already bullets that flew on that angle before, and it's just like they just so cavalier, uncaring.
It's so reckless. So reckless. You know, no thought behind it whatsoever. And minute left. They've only just, gotten some important walls open, and now this is where the Goyos and the smokes and all they can start being brought into play, and it's gonna be pretty difficult now for Furia, but never mind. Nade's actually somehow in the bomb site, but finally gets stopped, and looks as though that we may be pushing on for one more round, because somehow, some way, Furia have appeared out of the shadows. I don't know how Nade has been able to get in under the nose of ENX, but because of that, he has basically just won his team in the round with that full bomb site control.
Well, that's it. They have the bomb site control. I think they have a rough idea on where the vigil is, but it's a vigil, so it's always a bit rough and they made a lot of noise. 1 player on the window, 1 player planting. Currently. Behind the reinforced walls, they won't be able to get... Oh, no, they just swung anyway. We go again. Boxera got 1 more for his tally. He's, what, 5 short of tying the record now?
Yep. Somewhere, Paulu and Onigiri are just sat shaking in a corner.
I mean...
Paulu will be watching this game. He'll be hate watching.
He will
be. Die. Don't do it. Just die.
Yeah, I don't think I cast the Palu game. I cast the Onigiri game.
I think I casted the Paulu game.
Oh, well, this is why it's maybe happening.
Wait, did we?
I don't know. What was the Palu? Maybe I did cast the Palu game.
I think, did we? I thought me and you did. Maybe not.
I cast...
Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe. There's a graphic somewhere.
Somewhere.
22-5.
That's... It was either us two or Happenstern up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
It might have been Happenstern, because I think he had that one and I had the Onigiri game as well. But either way, we're not there yet. 6-4. Furia have pushed around over the edge, and it was by a player getting in towards the site and fighting out. As you said, they sort of found a way to slip through, and Nade's gonna just double down on that theorem with a Blackbeard. You don't need to slip through, and you can just smash through. Here, they've kept the site rotation up. They're not going to double down. They're not going to see if they can try and make it stick. If this one goes away, then obviously they have the option to go back over towards the T side, if they do so wish. But an early breakthrough onto the side. Our Fury are just going to try and go a little bit heavy, a little bit fast. Here.
Yeah. I mean, the Ying gets brought in, you would assume so. But Angels actually picked a really good operator for that. I don't know maybe if ENX were expecting this kind of lineup to be coming in. Oh my god.
Oh, you got the
I was getting
down!
the down, but
If
Nate
someone
and the
can
Blackbeard's
confirm
able
that
to-
kill.
I feel as though you're coping right now. There's
am.
only one kill per round now. I think he might have
slowed down.
lost the mojo. But this always happens. Casters mention a kill record and it goes away.
They're going for the pickup, but JV92 is up. They had the cross angle. They had a good position on him. At this point now, can ENX, without the man of all the magical moments they've had this round, this map, get themselves the difference? Nade, massively hurt. Gumine, so detrimental to him, alongside JV92, obviously as well, who went down, is picked back up. They have the pressure underneath. They're actually been able to get here without being traded out. Last time it was, 60k, 1 versus 2, down underneath to get rid of the Buck and the Dockerby. They don't have that power this time around, so ENX have less to work with than they did before. You see Furia just sort of encircling at some point, and they just need to try and make their way in. There's the spray through. Angels gets one. The grenades are caught and trapped all the way around him. There's a bit of a blind, and he finds himself a bit of shelter, but he gets the lockdown on the Blackbeard. There's 2. Sexy Kate goes down, and Angels is traded out. They flood their way in, but Florio gets 2 from the minibar. It is all down to KZ in a 1 versus 3 to try and keep them fighting, to try and get towards OT. He's surrounded as he cautiously goes up the stairs. The blind will slow a player, but there's somebody on his left. Surely you'll expect it. In fact, no, that's the down player. It's a long watch from the Samurai rotate. 30 seconds. Maybe they have a read on where the other crossfire is. They've been able to get themselves up. It's 1 on Dragon. Not sure if they're waiting for contact, trying to bait the fight, but Nade's kill finally gets confirmed. Again, slips his way on through. He's sort of threading a fine needle, but ENX, they get themselves the win. A record for Box Zero this time. But I think it will be a map we remember for a long time, Demo.